Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Eve edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great trading day yesterday. For those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, click that subscribe button down below so that you get the updates as they become available. We're going to do what we do each and every day, look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets, identifying potential breakout trades and turning points from an educational perspective. Those of you that are interested, we are doing a live trading room this morning here in about, I guess about 2 hours or so, where we're going to take a look at the markets and see what they look like just before the open and identify some other trades. So let's go ahead and dive right into some of the basics. So S&P 500. So on the ES, what I'm looking at this morning, we're basically flat, right? We haven't done a whole lot in the overnight hours. Went down, came back up. Not a whole lot has happened. Nothing really to write home about at the very least. And there, we fell off of this 2874 level after the news on President Trump. We haven't done really anything ever since. The FOMC symposium, if you will, at Jackson Hole is going on the next couple of days. So let's see if any word out of there causes a stir, if you will, in the markets. That along with the ECB rate, the ECB monetary policy information, I think that's really why we're just kind of chopping along, not doing a whole heck of a lot. So I will tell you, on the S&P, there's not a whole lot that I want to add at this point. I mean, theoretically, you could set up a long position above this 2874 for a breakout trade, since that would put us to some of these high territories, right? Looking at this on a daily chart, it didn't quite get us to a new all-time high. We're still below the 2878 half, which is the official all-time high of the futures. That was back in early February, late January. So we're getting close, right? We're nearly back to that level. And so now there's really nothing that I want to add on the hourly chart that I like enough for me to get long quite yet, right? I do see, however, that we are getting a little bit of lower highs and a little bit of higher lows, which is typically going to be some sort of a potential for a breakout. But I'm not sure that we're going to get it because of just waiting on what's going to be said at some of those announcements. The Nasdaq is we are not back up to the high as well, but the difference in the Nasdaq and the S&P was that in the Nasdaq we fell off of the return to this level pretty hard. So the news of the Donald Trump information came out right while we hit this fair price value area and price sold off, right? How coincidental, right? And so the second time through, we've hit it and moved down. So this level is no longer a valid level, right? Matter of fact, we even had it as a confirmation entry at its time. So you could theoretically use this as a breakout trade and get long above this area if it breaks above that zone, especially since we're basing in front of it at the moment. That basing in front of it is kind of a big deal at the moment. Crude oil. So crude oil, we have an area where we're still waiting for a potential breakout above that 68.15 level. I thought we were going to get it yesterday with some oomph. We didn't, if you notice that we based in front of it, which makes it still a pretty decent little opportunity. We did have this little area in here where we have this wick up followed by this wick down early in the day yesterday. So if I take that over to the 15-minute chart, you can see it a little bit more clearly. There's a lot of just, I'll call it wickiness in here, right? Wiki. A lot of wickiness in here. But you see how this lower wick got below these lows in here? So with this lower wick getting below these two lows, that tells me that level is not really going to be valid any longer. Theoretically, there's an opportunity inside there. I'm not in love with it, and I would actually come all the way down to here before I'd look at another opportunity, somewhere in one of these ranges. Now, the thing I like down here is that here we're looking around the London markets open. Here, it's fairly early in the day, 5 a.m. And so I got to go a lot lower for me to find anything in here that I really like. So you can still use the breakout level up above or come all the way down into this region to find some things that could be decent reversals. In gold, we had a couple of breakout short potentials down below here that we've not, come back and hit, although we're coming close to it right now. If you are so inclined, you could wait for that breakdown, and I'd like to see us base before that breakdown. That would be, in an ideal scenario. You also have this area up here where we could get a reversal if price comes back to it. Not sure we're going to make it back up into that region or not before we see any movement. So looking at our bonds and currency markets, the bond markets, the 10-year note, which is the TY, a lot of you use the TY for this one. We are getting a bit of an ascending triangle pattern, right? I mean, there's no question that is a perfectly designed ascending triangle pattern. So now, does that mean it's going to break out to the upside? Not always, but that is what's setting up in the ZN. As far as the Aussie goes, we talked yesterday about people taking some money off the table on the Aussie position. If you did, you're feeling good about yourself right now because we got a pretty big sell-off after the last night around 8 o'clock, starting in the early evening parts. So this could give us another opportunity, by the way, based on that big sell-off. There's still room for price to fall back to our original long area down below. So you could theoretically have a long setup below here since we're basing in front of it. Now, why wouldn't I take it right here? Well, because of this basing right in there, that little bit of basing in there. So I'd wait for price to break through that potential area of demand. On the euro, we had a breakout long on the euro. It's risen up very strongly from that area. So let's see if we do come down from there. There's nothing I want to add on the euro at this point. Still have that short available up in here. I'm very tempted to look at this area down here. If for a long, I want to see what the arrival looks like later today. Canadian dollar, nothing on here immediately that I want to add. A lot of these big candles that we have in the Canadian dollar have scared me away from placing some of these reversal trades, so I'm going to hold off on some of these at the moment. And I have been, and it goes in waves, right? So it goes in waves where I'll place a lot of trades on the Canadian dollar, and then I'll place none at all, and vice versa. Looking at the Japanese yen, I'm going to pull this one up first because yesterday we had seen that this was a confirmation style entry. After we bounced off of this and had a really nice run, we switched it to a confirmation style entry, and lo and behold, price came into the level, didn't quite get to the activation, popped up, came back out and through. So this one is a no-go any longer. So the Japanese yen level obviously is not going to be any valid. Chopping around a little bit over the last few hours here. Now, I could use this area up here for a future reversal point. This one would be a setup right there. That long upper wick tells me this was a drop, a base, and then another nice drop out of this area. So I'm going to keep this area in play for some point today. Copper, not a whole lot going on. Nothing to add really in my copper position. Same thing in nat gas. We're between those major areas. And then the Great British Pound, we had talked about this level yesterday and just haven't reached it yet. So let's see if we come back to that level today. So with that being said, if you're going to join the live trading room, I will see you at 7 a.m. Central, so in about 2 hours. And if you are not a member of the live trading room, go to tradersarmy.com so that you can learn a bit more. And we'd love to have you join us. We try to make it a fairly affordable opportunity for traders to get together and make some make some opportunities and learn a lot about how the market moves in the live market environments where we can actually set up some trades. So, all right, everybody, hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon.